Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Filipponi. The Pony Express is where you can find out more about what he does on Twitter at Pony Express, P-O-N-I Express. It's time to talk the Olympics. Michael Phelps. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, I would say that's a good adjective to use.
I'm hearing today, Lochte said that he might come back in 2020.
So that would make him 36.
No, he's done it all, man.
You think Phelps is done?
Yeah, no, I'm talking...
Well, I know, but do you think Phelps rethinks it?
No, he's done.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart. Go out on top. I mean, you know...
And he's definitely gone out on top these Olympics.
Has there been anybody in the history of the Olympics? I mean, even the great Mark Spitz, Jesse Owens, roll them all in there. I mean, this guy, phenomenal.
Yeah, it's funny, like, the London Games now are looked at as a motivational Olympics for him, that he didn't really like how he performed there, and that's what fueled this Olympic run. And you look at London, and he still won 2 gold medals. You know, it's like a down Olympics for him is winning 2 gold medals. He's got a shot tonight at his last individual gold, and then Saturday will probably be his final swim. That's one of the relay teams.
You're a partner every day from 10 on 93.7 The Fan. One of my all-time favorites. I've known him forever, Ron Cook. He wrote that he's not so thrilled about the Olympics in the amazing Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I love the Olympics, especially for the things that are really off the beaten path, like table tennis. I watched Ding Ning the other night. Just absolutely, my son and I was blown away by her amazing talent. What's your thoughts on the Olympics?
I wish there was more of a local, when I say local interest, I mean somebody from Pittsburgh or from this area who we could really root for. I know Leah Smith, the swimmer from Oakland Catholic, won a gold medal, and that's a tremendous accomplishment. But, you know, there isn't a Roger Kingdom or a Kurt Angle or a Swin Cash or a
Lauren
Williams, Susie McConnell-Serio, somebody who is one of the headlining talents at the Olympics who's from here. And I think, you know, it's very competitive with baseball and football this time of year, with the Steelers starting up and with the Pirates still in the playoff race, that, you know, there's only so many hours you can spend watching sports. And, you know, the one thing I like about the Olympics is that it's something you can share with your family. Like, I feel like, at least on my side of things, my girlfriend's really into it. My mom's really into it. My grandmother's really into it. So I find myself probably watching more because of them. You know, usually with things, Rob, they watch because of me. Like, my girlfriend gets stuck watching 100 Pirates games because I've got it on for work. Yeah.
Right.
But I find myself watching the Olympics not because I think it's important for work, but because it's something I can share with her.
All right. Anyway, going to be great because next week it's track and field, and Ashton Eaton is going for his second decathlon in as many Olympics. He won it in London, and if he does that, he'll be right there with Bob Mathias and Daley Thompson from Great Britain, which I think is still one of the most spectacular events in the history of the Olympics. And
Decathlon?
Decathlon.
I agree with you.
Oh, yeah, bar none. I mean, I go back when the great Bruce Jenner did it in '76, and I'm not lying. I was first in line to get the Wheaties box. I mean, I love the decathlon, so I'll be watching. And I think NBC, this is their signature. This is what they do. I think
track and field,
the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that this is what they do rather well. All right, just a couple of quick notes. Pitt, thoughts on Pitt early on, obviously underway with camp and getting ready for the season.
Well, I'm enthusiastic and excited that Connor looks like he's going to be all systems go, and given his incredible, uplifting story.
Amazing.
The first time he runs out of the tunnel, Labor Day weekend against Villanova, I mean, that's going to send a rush through that entire fan base and alumni base. So, you know, that's probably my favorite storyline from Pitt Camp. I think that this year, if things break right for them, maybe they could find themselves in the ACC championship game. I don't think they're that far off. If you look at most of these magazines and national polls that have already come out, they're not a top 25 team, but they're kind of right on the edge of that.
Right.
So when you have a team that maybe is top 30, top 40, given the weak division they find themselves in, you know, you feel like you've got at least a puncher's chance. So the Penn State game, I find already, Rob, that, you know, I spend the little time we spend on Pitt is mostly about that game.
People can't wait.
And I've never experienced one of those games, and it doesn't feel like a big event to me yet.
You'll see.
But it is going to be one, huh?
Yeah. I mean, as big as West Virginia, if not maybe bigger because the whole interstate thing. Pirates, Ivan Nova goes tonight. Dodgers, the big story, you're talking about local, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but my childhood friend growing up in the same neighborhood, part of the original Hill Gang, Jack Liberatore, his son Adam Liberatore is working out of the pen for the Dodgers. He's a left-hander. He's 29 years of age.
Wait, get out of here.
No, it's big. And
So you know this kid?
Yeah, and he's the one that broke Candelaria's consecutive scoreless innings record just a few weeks ago. Now, here's what's ironic. They actually lived in L.A. for a while when he was very young, and there's a picture of him with his Dodger shirt on at 7. So here he is now pitching for the Dodgers. But just an amazing family. But that's a story that people need to embrace locally. I mean,
I haven't even heard it. You're
Adam
the first person
Liberatore.
telling me about this.
I know. But what you need to do is track him down and get him on your show. This is a great story. I mean, to be pitching for the L.A. Dodgers, young kid went to Blackhawk High School, dad's from New Brighton. It's a great story. Pirates seem to just, every time they seem like they're going to make a run towards that wild card spot, something goes wrong. I'm happy with the trades. Still enough gas left in the tank for them to make it?
I don't think so, but if the teams around them continue to trip and fall on themselves, I guess crazier things have happened.
Okay.
I mean, I looked this up. If we used last year, the Pirates and Cubs were the 2 wild card teams. At this point last year, the Cubs were 17 games over 500. So the Pirates are very fortunate that this is a year where the second wild card team, 112 games into the season, has not been a very good team. So they're in it. I don't really think their starting pitching is where it needs to be even after the trades. They still have a lot of disappointments in their lineup from Andrew McCutchen on down. Guys like Josh Harrison and Cervelli's been injured, but they haven't gotten the production there, and Jaso at first base has also been a problem. And then their bullpen, they weakened it with the Melanson trade. It's still good, but it's not great like it used to be. So they're going to need some guys to catch fire, and they're going to need some of their young pitchers here, Rob, to really keep it up.
I do want to give a shout-out, though, to Dick's Sporting Goods because they put their name on a lot of amazing things, including donating all the equipment that the U.S. athletes are using at the Olympics. But
did they really?
Oh, yeah. They're strong, good people. Been friends with yours truly for a long time. Ed Stack and company, they do wonderful stuff. But also, the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series in Washington.
Which is not named after me. People have asked that. It's not. It's been around longer than I have.
But it's a great event, and I know Commissioner Larry Maggi is just a big fan of it, and you hear the great Lanny Frateri's voice on all the ads in the Washington Observer. So big.
Tony Caridi does work for them, too.
Oh,
the
really?
West Virginia play-by-play guy.
Cool. Anyway, big shout-out, and that's what... I don't know, youth baseball is all about. Now, Steelers getting ready for Detroit tonight. It's just a preseason game, but I'm excited about Coates. I think this kid from Auburn, I think he's ready to take a giant leap into the NFL this year.
I know, I think, and I hope you're right for the Steelers' sake. I'm starting to get nervous, though, that they're going to be forced to put too much on him because of the injuries and suspensions. With Bryant out for the year, and now this Green saga... we find out he's not playing, and it's not related to an ankle injury. It's because he's dealing with headaches, and there's now widespread speculation that he may never suit up for the Steelers. And that's a $20 million investment. If you look at the moves they made this offseason, Green was a bigger addition than even their first-round pick. I mean, he was, from last year's team, the one individual that they brought in to make this team better. And they had to with the Heath Miller retirement. So... If he's out, Bryant's gone for the year, Bell is gone for a month, even though they have an offensive line that is, I think, one of the best in the league. We know what Brown and Roethlisberger are. Your supporting cast, man. Who are going to be the unsung heroes that help lift this team back to a Super Bowl? And we're not even into the season, and the Steelers are already losing personnel, and that's not a good sign.
Baltimore gets healthier, they'll be stronger. Cleveland had a great draft. I think they're finally going to take it down the path that many Browns fans have been waiting for a very long time, and that's the right road. And the Bengals and Andy Dalton, I mean, if he even plays half as good as he did last year,
Still be competitive.
Yeah, I maybe 11-5. I think the Steelers. Okay, last thing, North Carolina shirt. Roy Williams. I don't know if you can see the print, but that's what he's wearing.
Yeah.
I got to say something about Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski. Carmelo Anthony surpassed LeBron James, David Robinson as far as points.
In the Olympics.
Right. I love watching these guys play. They had a great game against Australia. But the fire in the eyes of Coach K and how disciplined and excited he gets when he's done everything in the game. I mean, he's in his 60s now. He's battled through the bad back and all. That's what the Olympics is all about. A guy who's doing this, not doing it for any other reason, and he just loves basketball.
Well, I don't think we appreciate enough. I think what happens is when we see the Olympic story and the millionaire NBA player does not really fit that identity. We see and hear about all these human interest stories about all the sacrifices that people have to make to participate in the Olympics. And I don't think enough is said about the sacrifice that these NBA players and a guy like Coach K, what they have to do. I mean, yeah, they're steamrolling the competition. They're winning their games by double digits. They're probably going to win gold medals. But if you think about it, they're giving up a big part of their off-season training, their summer, which sometimes is spent just to relax and unwind. And they're doing it for something that's not financially motivated. These NBA players, I think, get a bad rap, Rob, for being selfish or for being too narcissistic or feeling like it's more about the individual, not the team. Well, the guys that make up this U.S. Olympic team, they're not getting paid, right? I mean, you got a guy like Kevin Durant just signed a $100 million deal with the Golden State Warriors. He's playing for his country,
right?
And that's a great sacrifice. I mean, he could find better things to do this summer than participate in this tournament.
And he's watching Katie Ledecky win gold medals and cheering her on.
Yeah, I think that's great.
It is. Me too. I don't know. I just think people need to understand. There may be that pro cliche tag with some of these athletes, but they're patriots, and no matter what country they're from, they want to participate.
Putting that uniform on means something to these guys. If it didn't, they wouldn't play.
Oh, I agree. All right. What are you and Cook been talking about? We'll close on that note.
A lot of Pirates, the trades that they made, that was a huge story. The deals they made at the deadline. The fact that even though we see them lose to some really bad teams lately, the Brewers, the Braves, the Reds, the Padres, some games where they just did not play good fundamental baseball, they still find themselves in it. And that's the silver lining to their season. Even though their record is not great and their play at times has not been inspiring, there's still time late in the game for them to turn their season around.
A guy who puts a lot of giddy up into sports every day. And, of course, it's on 93.7 The Fan with Ron Cook. At 10 a.m., he is Andrew Filipponi.
Thanks, Rob.